joining me live, please just comment down below. Let me know that, hey, I'm here. You're looking good with your lippy. How's it going? How you doing? Please just let me know when you do join. Guys, okay. Let me contain my excitement because I'm so excited. If I look down, know that I'm looking at my laptop because this is live on YouTube. And if I'm looking up, please know that I'm looking at LinkedIn at my phone because this is live on LinkedIn as well. Let me formally greet you. Hello, and welcome to, this is crazy. This is so crazy. Welcome to the very first episode of the Mpumi K Show. Woo! Okay, so when I put this up on YouTube, I said the premiere of the Mpumi K Show, and I realized that I was actually giving people expectations. We'll see, they'll get here and they'll see a set and a background, and it's not that kind of party. Well, not yet. But I want you to picture this, that on the 19th of September 2023, we started out in a little corner in my house with my camera, my phone camera, my laptop camera, and literally all these makeshift things, right? And a year from now, or even less, I am booking a studio every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday, and I'm sitting in that studio recording this. And then a year later, there is a studio, yes, but like it's a proper production that goes out from Monday to Friday, and there's a studio audience, and I'm the next Oprah Winfrey. Woo! But that's how I'm thinking about this, right? I am starting because this is what I've always wanted to do with my life. I've always wanted to speak. I've always wanted to be in front of the camera. I've always wanted to do this kind of work. I shared with everyone that this morning that I remember when I was a kid, my mom allowed me to do auditions for YoTV. It was YoTV and Shield Presenter Search. And my mom allowed me to go, and I went through the second round, and then I didn't succeed. But this has always been who I am. I've always been the girl that wanted to develop other people and grow other people. I always share the story that I would, every after school, gather all the kids from my neighborhood, and I would teach them math and I'd teach them English. During school holidays, I'd be hosting beauty contests, music shows, dance shows. I've always been this person. So for me to sit here on the Mpumi K Show is like such a full circle moment, and I anticipate that this thing will grow, that it will keep getting bigger and better, and it will reach more lives than I could ever imagine. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm so excited that you have decided to stop whatever you were doing to join me. And even if you didn't stop it, I'm so excited that you've chosen for me to be a companion on this journey of you becoming a purpose practitioner, because that is my mission. I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Mbonane, and I am a purpose alignment strategist. That means I am the expert that professionals turn to when they want to pivot into fulfilling careers with more impact and more income by aligning their purpose to their profession. I'm going to tell you how all of this has now evolved and what I'm getting up to lately as I continue on with this chat. I've called you here today to talk to you about audacity, the prerequisite for purpose. And you know, when I posted this on my WhatsApp, I captioned it to say the audacity. And what I was thinking about in that moment was the audacity to think that I can have a show that is named after me, the audacity to think that professionals and executives and managers in organizations will tune into the show, the audacity for me to dream of this being the next best thing after the Oprah Winfrey Show, the audacity for me to think that I can do this and do this well and not be afraid. Like, who do I think I am? What do I think I am? But that is not even what I want to talk about, right? I have taken the audacious step to come today to speak to you about audacity, and audacity being a prerequisite for purpose. Now I'm going to share my story with you, And for those who've heard the story, please don't check out because you're going to hear elements of my story that you've never heard. I'm going to introduce it and I'm going to share it in a way that is going to pull out points of a journey that has been one audacious step after the other. So don't check out. Let's go right away. So, grade 11, and everyone is meant to make the decision about what they want to study. I knew that I loved working with people. I knew that I wanted to use my voice to effect change. And so I said to people, I'm going to be a psychologist, a child psychologist to be particular. Everyone around me was like, what? Are you sure? I remember a guy that I spoke to at a Via station said to me, you know, psychology, they teach you all these evolution things. Da, 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 da. Are you going to be okay as a Christian? And I got scared. I was like, ooh, I don't want to do evolution stuff. But not only that, my brother-in-law, somebody I absolutely love and adore, somebody whose voice I respect even to this day, said to me, and like when you want to spend your whole life listening to people's problems, you can always do that even in your spare time. You're going to waste your brain if you don't do anything in engineering or anything in science. You're good at math, you're good at science. Come on, think bigger, want more for yourself. And there I was like, okay, I don't want to waste my brain. So I decided to do engineering. Psychologist aspirant, deciding to study engineering. So 2013 to 2016, I went to Wits University and I studied my BSc mining engineering degree. But I'm not going to skip stages because it's not as easy and as smooth as I'm making it out to be in this one sentence. You guys, I remember in first year feeling like, what on earth am I doing here? What is this? You're going to hear a noise right now. It's the trash truck. So if it makes a noise and you hear rumbling, please note that it's the trash truck. Okay, cool. So this is me, right? In first year, feeling like, what on earth am I doing here? In fact, I think how I felt in first year is how I feel now in my first year of entrepreneurship. Like, the world is spinning. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm turning left or turning right. I have no idea what's going on, right? This was me in first year. I call my sister. I say to her, hey, listen, I don't want to do this. I actually don't want to do engineering. If I can't help people via psychology because that would be a waste of my brain, at least let me do it via law. And my sister said, no. You are not going to do such a thing. I know people who are doing their law degrees and they are sitting at home or did their law degrees and they're sitting at home without a job. Let me tell you something very, very interesting. On the 27th of September, my sister is graduating with her law degree. I'm celebrating, but you're probably like, the same sister? Exactly. But that's besides the point because everyone walks their own journey, right? Anyway, so this is me in first year then deciding I'm not going to quit. I'm going to stick it through. And I do stick it through. Second year comes by. Second year, I don't know if I got smarter or second year got easier, but listen, it was a breeze. I even made myself a little boyfriend in the air, honey, okay? And that has been second year. Third year got really, really tough. I started developing chest pains from all the stress and all the worry. And I still knew that I am not supposed to be here. I go through my fourth year, my final year. That goes well. I graduate. Then 31st of March 2017, I graduate with my BSc mining engineering degree. I get called into the school's office and I get given the certificates. Apparently, I made it to the dean's list. Dean's list, top 10% in the faculty of engineering and built environment. Now, one would think, how? You're excelling. You're doing really well, which must mean that you are on the right path. Guys, no. And that's what happens, right? That's what happens. People think, oh man, I'm competent. I'm performing well. This must be the place for me to be. We all know of the concept it's not even a philosophy, it's a concept of reaping and sowing, right? You sow and you reap. If you plant the right seeds in the ground and you nurture that thing, you water that thing, you expose it to sunlight, you give it manure, you give it whatever food, it will grow. Whether or not you were supposed to plant it is a different story, but the fact that you did all the right things mean the plant will grow. So the fact that I was doing well was only because I got a brain. Remember, I was told not to waste the brain, this math brain, this science brain. And so I had the brain, and I was studying, and I understood the work, and I wrote the exams. I studied for the exams and I wrote the exams. So the fact that I was actually passing meant nothing for the purpose, right? But I always knew in all the 4 years of studying, I was like, I am misplaced. I am misaligned. I am not supposed to be here. There is another world calling out for me, but I don't know how to get there. Then I graduate. In 2017, I start my internship at a technical consulting firm. 2017 was the most difficult year of my life. I woke up every day regretting my decision to work at that company, regretting my decision to be in the mining industry. I hated the fact that I would go to work and waste away again. I hated the fact that I knew that there was this gap in me, that I was being called for something. I just didn't know what that something was. I didn't know how to get to that thing. But the fact that the beckoning just kept getting louder and louder and louder. In fact, in 2017, I started developing the chest pains again. I went to the doctor to inquire, and the doctor was like, there's nothing wrong with you. You are okay. Medically, physically, you're okay. What is stressing you? And I was like, nothing's stressing me. What do you mean? But there was a fundamental crisis. There was that existential crisis of me knowing that I am nowhere in the place that I'm supposed to be, but I'm waking up every day to go to work. I'm coming back every day feeling so empty, feeling so useless, wondering, what the hell am I doing with my life? And in that year, I thought, I am not going to stand for this. I'm not going to subject my whole life to feeling like this and doing this work. And I decided I'm going to leave the mining industry and go explore a different industry altogether. Now, at this point, I wanted to talk about the audacity to believe that there is better out there. The audacity to believe that there is a better version of you that exists. Let me tell you something about purpose. It will require for you to have the audacity to believe that there is something better. Innately, you will know, right? Your body will tell you, your gut will tell you, everything around you will tell you. If you're struggling with diseases of unfulfillment, where you're chronically, constantly fatigued, where you are frustrated, where you absolutely hate what you're doing, where you feel like my life is just a mess, you know, I'm pretty sure that everyone who's watching this and knows that they're not in their purpose and they want to be in their purpose, they know what I'm talking about. I'm even saying things that I'm not even mentioning some of the things that you're going through, but you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? And so the audacity to not just know that a better version of you exists somewhere else, but to believe that and to want that for yourself. That is what your purpose is going to require. And it's going to require that because your purpose is big. It is so much bigger than you. So it's going to require for you to believe that you belong in that big, that a version of you exists that will fit right into that big. If you want to fully step into your purpose, you need to have that audacity to say, I know. No. Here, I'm playing small. Here, no. There is more to me. That is what your purpose is going to require you to have the audacity to say no. Not on my watch, not in my name. I'm going for the more and I'm going for the better. And that is what happened. I said, I know I studied this thing for 4 years and I've got the knowledge. I've got the networks. I can get into any mining company. In fact, a couple of months prior to starting my not even a couple of months, a month before starting my internship at the technical firm, I was offered a job at a mining company. So it's not that there wasn't opportunities available. I just did not want that. I knew that me and mining mismatch. I cannot do it. And so I had the audacity to say, I'm going to walk away from something that I religiously and rigorously studied for 4 years. I'm going to walk away from a job I'd been doing for 9 months to do something else. And that something else was banking. It was finance. What did I know about banking? Exactly nothing. I knew absolutely nothing about banking. I knew absolutely nothing about finance, but I said a better version of me exists outside of this place. There is more for me, and it's not in the confines of this office. And I left. I had the audacity to walk away from something that I studied for 4 years. And I'm mentioning this because a lot of people, oh, sorry, YouTube, sorry. I'm mentioning this because a lot of people think, would say, oh, but I've already wasted so many years studying for this thing. I've already spent 10 years in this industry. I've already put in so much. So none of that goes to waste. When you step into your purpose, none of that goes to waste. No experience is a waste of time. No experience is not going to be used elsewhere. I still use the brain that was working out complex situations and scenarios in engineering. I still use the acumen that I had at the bank. I'm going ahead of myself, but listen, none of those things go to waste. Nothing is wasted, not in God's kingdom, not where purpose is concerned. No, actually, absolutely nowhere. And so that's a second audacity, not just the audacity of feeling like bigger exists, a better version of me exists, but the audacity to walk away. The audacity to walk away. And so this is me walking away from mining and stepping into banking. I get into this beautiful building with stunning people who are dressed to the nines, who smell good, who speak so well, who are doing so great in their careers. But the funny thing is, every third person or so would stop me to say, Mpumi, if you had a choice of what you wanted to do with your life, would this be the choice that you make? And I thought this is interesting because in 2017, I was crying. I was begging God. I was searching for what is my purpose? What should I be doing with my life? And here I am in this organization, and it seems I'm not the only one that's been asking the question. Why on earth would people ask me, if you had a choice, would this be the choice that you make? If you were given the opportunity to do anything in your life, would this be the place that you choose to do it at? And I then started realizing, Uguti, no, man, this is actually an issue everywhere. I'm not the only one who feels like I'm misplaced. I'm not the only one who feels like there can be better use of her time and her energy. And then I started sharing my story online. I remember it was the anniversary of my graduation when I shared a story to say this was supposed to be the happiest day of my life, but it wasn't. I was graduating, but I was graduating into a degree in an industry that I knew was not aligned to who God created me to be. And to my surprise, scores and scores and scores of young and old professionals commented on that post on LinkedIn and on Instagram to say, you are sharing my story. What you are saying is so resemblant of my life and my journey, but how do I get to the purpose? Because I also shared that I realized that this is what I want to do, and I joined the banking industry not as the end, but as a means to an end, because I was on a journey. I was on a journey of discovering and pursuing my purpose. And once I found it, then I'd need to determine what needs to happen next. So this is me sharing my story and people saying, oh my goodness, Mpumi, ukhuluma nami. Like, this is me. Help me. And that's when I then started engaging with professionals on what is going on. And many of them were saying, this is what I wanted to study. This is what I wanted to be. This was the dream I had for myself. But poverty, peer pressure, family pressures, not knowing what that looks like, the world not being developed enough, and me feeling like I can't use all of who I am, fear of rejection, fear of failing if I do anything that is unconventional or non-traditional. People kept giving me these reasons why they did not become what God had put in their hearts to be, and all those tugs that they were feeling even from a young age. And then I thought, okay, I've got this information. And I remember in April of that year, so I've shared my story, right? April of that year, I get woken up. I believe God woke me up that day to give me a blueprint. Now, this blueprint was, this is how you discover your purpose. This is how you align your purpose to a profession. And this is how you thrive in that profession unapologetically. Now, I was annoyed. I was just like, all I wanted was my purpose. What is this blueprint? What am I supposed to do with this blueprint? Huh? And then God said, the reason you couldn't find anyone to share with you the journey of discovering the why was because that was your task. I needed to develop you enough so that you are equipped to then fulfill that task. Because I get so frustrated when everyone is like, oh, living a life of purpose is so beautiful. And I'm like, how did you get there? And nobody was sharing it. It was because I had the answer all along. And this is the interesting thing, that the questions you're asking, so ironic, the questions you're asking are probably questions you have answers to. And you're like, that makes no sense, because why would I ask if I had the answer? No. Let me put it a different way. The questions you're asking are probably the questions whose answers you are meant to provide. Yeah, I know, right? And so then I start going on this journey of discovering my purpose and all the steps that were laid out in this blueprint. And then I do the work of aligning it to a profession. But I was like, what do I then do? And then I got the idea to start a business, Purpose Practitioners Club. And the aim of this business was really to help professionals engage and excel in professions that are aligned to their purpose, to engage in professions or disciplines or arts that are in line with their purpose. And I put the message out there to say, hey guys, let's talk on a discovery call. Let me hear your problems and let me see how I can help you. 2020, when the world shut down, people were like, yo, life is so difficult, because everybody and their mama and their cousin and their neighbor were dying, right? And people thought, if I'm gonna die in this world, I'm not gonna die unfulfilled. I'm not gonna die never having explored all that I am and being everything that God created me to be. And so that's when I got my first set of clients in 2020. At first, I did the coaching and the consulting in one-on-one. And as I was doing those one-on-ones, I was developing a framework. I was developing a program that I've now packaged into what is a 3-month program called Purpose to Profession. This is the only program that I know that exists in the world, and I have searched high and low because this was my plight. This was my earnest plea. I've searched high and low. This is the only program that exists in the world that not only mind-blowingly helps professionals discover their purpose, but it gives them the step-by-step guidance on how to align that purpose to a profession, and not just ending it there, but how to thrive in that space unapologetically. And once that is done, to then watch as accolades and awards and rewards come from having stepped into everything that God put you on this earth to be. So, start this business and I start getting clients, and it's all great. And the reason I started my business, because I had the audacity to dream. The dream I had was for professionals to be in roles, whether this is in corporate organizations, their own business, in academia, as a nonprofit organization, or in full-time ministry, or in the arts, or the creative space, whatever that looked like. The dream I had in my mind is everyone knows what their purpose is, and they are living out that purpose as a profession every single day. Because if you were created for something, why would you spend your time doing something else? Why would you spend 8 hours in your day, 40 years of your life, doing something that you were not created to do. In my mind, I thought if we're going to spend so much of our times at work every day and so much of our lives working, it's got to be doing exactly what we were designed for. Here's the thing. Everyone was put on this earth for a particular reason. Your purpose existed before you did, right? And so in God's mind, when he decides on who your parents become and where you'll be born, he conceives that this will be the work that this person will do because of how I will create them, right? And so in my mind, I was like, I dream of a world where everybody knows exactly what their makeup is, how they were designed, and what that design is actually on this earth to do, and doing that every single day of their lives until they die. The audacity. The audacity to dream of a world that does not yet exist. This reminds me of the Wright brothers, who had the audacity to put a heavy machine on in the sky because they had a dream that you can move from one place to another in the sky, sustained in suspension, and make it to wherever you're going. The audacity. The audacity of the person who created the internet, the audacity of the person who created electricity, the audacity of anybody who's ever innovated something to see a world that doesn't yet exist. Purpose will require you to have the audacity to dream, the audacity to see a world that does not exist. Do you have that audacity? Do you have the chutzpah, the guts, that thing that says, I have not seen this work, but something in me tells me that it will? I had that dream, and I took professionals through this dream, right? And I took them through my journey because I had the dream for myself and it worked out. I enjoy my business. I enjoy sitting here speaking to you. I didn't believe that it could happen, but when I read Ecclesiastes 3:22 that said nothing is better than for us to find joy in the work that we do because that is our heritage, I thought, I'm going after my heritage. I'm not going to leave a legacy before I live it. I'm going to live the legacy and then leave it for those who come after me. But nothing is better than for me to find joy in the work that I do. That is my heritage. And then I looked up the archaic definition of heritage and it told me your allotted portion, your individual possession. And I thought, please, it is my allotted portion. It is my portion to find joy in the work that I do. That's exactly what's going to happen. There is a universe that exists where I am doing work that brings me joy, where I am impactful and earning money, where I am fulfilled on Monday and don't want to leave work on Friday. I imagine that world. And that's the thing with purpose. The prerequisite is to have the audacity to see a world that does not yet exist. And then now I'm in my corporate job, I'm doing my mining job, my banking job. And in me, there's this thing that says, Mpumi, you are never going to see the fullness of your purpose until you fully step into that purpose. What is going on? I'm earning well. I am having such great benefits. I'm starting to do things that I like here in corporate. What do you mean? And I kept feeling this tug from 2020 that said, you need to leave. You need to leave. And I was like, no, I love it here. Every month I get my salary. Oh, I can go to the doctor and not even think about it. Oh, I've got a pension fund. Hey, I was so beholden to my job that I knew that I was out of purpose, but I was just like, no, I love it here. I want to stay here. And that thing in 2020 kept badgering me. You need to leave. 2021, you need to leave. 2022, you need to leave. 2023, you need to leave. It kept getting louder and louder. And my life at work kept getting more draining and more draining. I kept hating it more and more. And I knew that it was time to go. And the other thing with purpose is that you're going to have the audacity to respond to the call. And this call at first comes so subtly, like, hey, I think this is what you should be doing with your life. Or it comes so subtly saying, you actually enjoy this. Why don't you give it a full try? It comes so softly. And then it gets loud. And then you're not listening, and then it gets loud. And you're still not listening, and then it gets louder. And you're still not listening, and things start falling apart. And you're like, Lord, what's going on? My boat is sinking. Oh, my foundations are shaking. Not realizing that God is the one that's shaking those foundations because He wants you to answer the call. Is it scary? Yes. You thought I was going to say no. It is hella scary. It is ridiculously scary. But that's why I'm talking about having the audacity to say, your will, your bill. If you've called me to this, you will see me through it. The audacity to say, again, I need to see this world because it doesn't give you rest. It haunts you. The world you're trying to see that doesn't yet exist, it haunts you. It gives you restless, sleepless nights. You become restless. But how can you rest when you're not doing what you were designed to do? We're like, oh, I'm not fulfilled. And the irony is that you're not fulfilled because you are not fully filling. You're not fully filling the world with what God has put in your heart to fill it with. You know something's missing. You know it's empty, but you're not doing it. And so how will you be fulfilled when you are not fully filling? How does that work? How does that work? And so I had to have the audacity to answer the call and to answer it fully. And 31st of March 2023, which is exactly 6 years to the day that I graduated, I walked away from my corporate career. Woo! People were like, are you crazy? And I said, I am. I'm very crazy. Because what do I think I'm doing? Who do I think I am? I'm very crazy. But I walked away because I had the audacity to say yes to the call on my life. I had the audacity to say, if you put it in me, you will put it out there. If this is your will, Lord, it will be your will. If this is the way you want me to walk, then you've got to hold my hand. I am not going unless you are going with me. And I left my job. I started this crazy roller coaster that is entrepreneurship. Oh my gosh, it's a crazy roller coaster. But in this time, so much has happened. And the so much that I'm talking about is I've had to evaluate what I really want to do and what will really have the most impact. There's a course that I have that I've now named the pursuits of the purpose pursuits, right? A course in career fulfillment. And one of the modules that I have on there answers the question, do I have the same purpose all of my life or does it change? And the simple answer is you have one purpose. The only thing is that it evolves. It evolves based on the stage you're in. It really evolves based on the relevance of, or the relevance and its efficacy of it, right? And so the way, and I'm not going to get into it here because it's actually part of the work that I'm now doing, but I did not leave corporate the way I wanted to leave corporate. I don't even think I left corporate at the time I wanted to leave corporate. And so much happened leading up to it that made me realize that there's a serious problem in corporations. And the serious problem is that there is a talent drain, there's a profit drain, and a talent bleed. Corporates don't realize the cost of having employees in positions that are not aligned to their purpose. It kills their productivity, it kills their bottom line, it kills the morale of the people, kills innovation. It does so many adverse things. And I know this because when I announced that I was leaving, I heard so many other stories of young, talented professionals that were leaving their organizations because of the inflexibility that those organizations have and how they felt contained by the work that they were doing, or their contract, or their resume. And I learned that there is so much work to be done within organizations. And doing that will have so much more impact than if I had a one-on-one client, or if I had a group of 5 people or 10 people in my program at a time. And so I have had to have the audacity to evolve. When my business started, I told you, it started off as one on one. I was coaching clients one on one, and it was easy. It was natural because I love speaking, I love developing people, right? So it was very easy. I'd get on a call every week with my clients and would go over the material, go over the content, and that was great. And then it became a group program where 5 or 6 people at a time would join. That was also easy because I would just sit here like I am now and talk to my clients, and that was great. I've got this framework that I developed called the data framework. Discover your purpose, align it to a profession, thrive in it unapologetically, and get awarded and receive your accolades for it. My fingers look so fat, but they look so pretty. Okay, that is the framework, right? That I've always used with one on one clients, with my group coaching clients. And now I am called upon to use the same framework in organizations. Because in organizations, there are employees and workers, talent that is in roles that are not aligned to their purpose. And if that happened, if talent within organizations would get into positions and roles that are in line with their purpose, again, I am seeing a world, a workforce where Mondays are greeted with joy and glee, where everyone is operating in their zone of genius. They are excellent, they are doing good work. And because they are so impactful and so innovative, they're making good money, not just for themselves, but for the organization. I'm seeing organizations being able to retain their top talent. I'm seeing organizations being able to increase exponentially the profits that they make in a year. I'm seeing organizations experiencing unprecedented productivity. I'm seeing employees engaged at work, being satisfied with their jobs, coming up with innovations that are out of this world, serving customers and clients and community in a way that has never been seen before. I have this dream. I am seeing this thing. I'm seeing organizations succeed in ways like never before because everyone in those organizations is in a position or a role that is aligned to their purpose. So what that means is, yes, I'll still do the coaching, the one-on-one coaching and the group coaching. I'll still do those things. But now I'm called to evolve into bringing this framework into organizations. Ooh! Am I scared? Very. I'm terrified. I'm so scared. I am so scared. But this is the thing with purpose. You're going to have the audacity to evolve. I'm thinking about a butterfly that's in its shell and its cocoon and it's staying there. And I can imagine it gets comfortable and it's warm and it's all right. But something in it says, man, yeah, this is fine. This is okay. But you're meant to fly. You're meant to develop wings. You're meant to have color. And this butterfly, before it is a butterfly, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so uncomfortable, and feels itself cracking. The cocoon, the shell is cracking, and the butterfly realizes that, oh my gosh, I'm developing into something I didn't know. And the butterfly is gaining wings and it's flying. And we see it going everywhere, sitting on flowers, sitting on plants, and beautifying nature. But if it had stayed in its cocoon, we would never know what a butterfly looks like. And the reason you have to have the audacity to evolve is because if you stay in your cocoon, you will never know that you can be a butterfly. The world will never see the beauty of your wings. Plants will never get to engage with you. You will never leave that. I'm a butterfly, she Poland. I don't even know. But if you insist on staying about a cocoon, and staying in that shell, we will never know what you could have truly been. And so you need to have the audacity to make mistakes as you fly, to feel the wind you've never felt when you're in your cocoon and those little wings of yours like getting tossed to and fro. You need to have the audacity to mess up. You need to have the audacity to not know what's going on. I'm 5 months in entrepreneurship and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? I've been telling people that I feel like I'm starting over at 29. I'm getting teary-eyed because this is so precious to me, right? I feel like I'm starting over at 29, like I'm starting my whole life over at 29. But this is what happens because I cracked out of that cocoon and I'm flying, I'm learning to fly, and the wind is blowing at me, and I'm afraid to send those proposals. I'm afraid to send those pictures. I'm afraid to put myself out there. But if I stay in the cocoon, I will never know what I can become. I will never know what it's like to fly. I will never see my full colors. And so my business is evolving. I am evolving. And part of that evolution, or a step into that evolution, is me having created a signature talk for corporations. So I think a week or 2 weeks back, I sent out 4 options for names for people to help me choose what to name my course. 2 of those names came up top, and I was so happy that they did because it was the 2 names that I loved but couldn't decide between, right? The one was the Purpose Pursuit, a course in career fulfillment. And I took that name because it had, I think, the second most votes. I took that name and I named it after a course, an online course that is available for everyone who's like, Mpumi, I want to know the art of like, I want to master the art of discovering my purpose. I want to know how to find this purpose, and I want to know actually how to then turn it into a profession, right? So the Purpose Pursuit, a course on career fulfillment, is a course that is self-paced. It's on there that I sell. People can buy whenever they want to buy it, and they can experience the program in their own time, in their own way. But another topic or another title that came up top that people were obsessed with, I personally was obsessed with it as well, was Beyond the Resume, finding your professional purpose. And so I was like, okay, but I've already taken the one name and given it to a course. What am I going to do with this one? And it got impressed upon my heart to develop a signature talk for organizations called Beyond the Resume, finding your professional purpose. And this talk is going to change the game. This talk is going to be what allows for me to see the dream and the vision that God put in my mind in reality. Through the signature talk and through my framework and my program, I am going to wake up one day to a world where everyone, as far as I can help it, is in a role and a position in corporate that is in line with their purpose. I am seeing organizations impacting communities in a way that's never been seen before. I see products and services being developed by purpose driven, purpose aligned individuals and professionals that are going to change the world. I am seeing organizations make so much money, they won't even know what to do with it. But because it is so much money, it'll go to the impoverished. It'll go to doing charitable works like we've never seen. I am seeing corporations change. I am seeing economies change because I've got the audacity to dream. But I can't just stop at dreaming. I've got to have the audacity to see this thing through. And that's my evolution. I'll still have the program on the side, but bulk of my work now will be with organizations because I believe, like the organization I worked with had 42,000 employees. Imagine me stepping into that space and impacting 42,000 employees. Well, 41,999 because I left. But imagine 42,000 employees being impacted by my audacity, by my purpose. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. I'm going to be sending pictures. I'm going to be contacting organizations and executives and managers and team leaders and talent and development personnel and human resource personnel, people and culture personnel, because they are experiencing talent bleed and profit drain. And if I can help it, that is going to come to an end. People are going to experience careers beyond their resume. They are going to find their professional purpose because this little girl had the audacity to believe that a better version of me exists and to believe that better for me is out there, because I had the audacity to walk away from something that was not my purpose. I had the audacity to dream of a world I don't yet see. I had the audacity to answer to the call, and more than anything, the audacity to evolve. And that's what I want for you. I want you to find your purpose. I want you to know what your purpose is. I want you to align that purpose to a profession. But you know what the prerequisite is? Audacity. You are going to have the audacity to be honest about, I am constricted, I'm constrained. There's more to me, and there's more to life than being here. You're going to have the audacity to walk away when you realize that you are in the wrong place. You're going to have the audacity to dream, because at the heart of purpose is realizing that you are living for more than just yourself. There is a world out there that needs you. There is a problem that can only be solved by you because you were uniquely designed on purpose for a purpose. You're also going to need to have the audacity to answer that call while it's still very soft. And when it gets louder and louder and louder and bang, you're going to need to answer that call. And it takes audacity. And you're going to need to have the audacity to break out of that shell, out of that cocoon, however difficult and uncomfortable it is. But you're going to have to fly. You're going to have to fly. And the only way you'll fly is in your purpose. But before you can step into your purpose, you need audacity. And if anything, this first episode of the Mpumi K Show was for me to loan you my audacity, to loan you my courage, to loan you my bravery. And if you're watching this in your own capacity as a professional, the best way to do that is via the course that I mentioned, the online course that I mentioned, the Purpose Pursuit, a course in career fulfillment. That is how you will discover your purpose. And if you're watching this in your capacity as an executive or as somebody who makes decisions, who makes professional decisions on behalf of other people. So if you're in HR, if you are in culture, if you are in talent or your talent development or leadership, if you are a team leader, a manager, if you are a CEO, CFO, whatever you are, if you are in a position where other people's professions, other people's careers are very much dependent on how you lead them and the decisions you make for them, I want to encourage you to book me for my signature talk, Beyond the Resume, Finding Your Professional Purpose. Because not only will you have a staff complement that absolutely loves their work, and they're giving it their best, and they are being innovative and creative, and they're creating a culture that is just purpose driven and wonderful, your organization will be all the better for it. You will see profits like never before. You will retain your top talent. You will be game and industry changers. But that all begins with you booking me for my signature talk, Beyond the Resume, Finding Your Professional Purpose. That's it. That is episode 1 of the Mpumi K Show. Are you proud of me? Because I'm so proud of myself. Let me tell you a secret. So I actually wanted to launch the show on my birthday. If you know anything about me, you know that every year I accomplish a milestone on my birthday. And I thought for 29, I want to launch my own talk show, which is something I've always wanted to do. But I didn't do it on the day I turned 29. But I'm still 29 and I'm doing it. And I'm not doing it for myself, I'm doing it for everyone that is attached to my purpose. Thank you for tuning in. I love you so much. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, comment, let me know what you are going to have the audacity for in this season of your life. I've shared 5 points of audacity, but we're in different seasons, we're in different phases, right? And so tell me, what are you going to have the audacity for? What are you committing to be audacious about today? And if you're watching this on LinkedIn, oh, this is the first time I'm ever going live on LinkedIn, but I'm so, so excited because this is the first of many. I told you I am the next Oprah Winfrey. Okay, actually, no, I'm not the next Oprah Winfrey. I'm Mpumi K. Mbonane. Let me put up my name. Let me put up my name so that you know who I am. I'm Mpumi K. Mbonane. I'm a bloody good purpose alignment strategist. And that's who I am. The next big name. The next big thing. That feels so good. That sounds so good. Let me not waste your time. Have a lovely evening if you're watching this in real time. And if you're catching up, have a lovely day or a lovely whatever, but it needs to be lovely anyway. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you on the next episode of the Mpumi K Show. Ciao.